Welcome back into the Fourth Man Podcast. Appreciate everyone for tuning back into another episode. We're finally past the major offseason milestone before the season opener, and we just had the draft. We just had the combine. Some teams are solidified, and got another good one for you here today. Obviously, if you've read the title of the show, you know that we have the number one pick of the BIG3 Draft, Brandon Moss, who we'll have on the show today, and we'll get to that interview very shortly. But before we do all that, I want to make sure that we get into the draft and kind of break down how the draft went, how different teams stack up, how the league is looking. And doing so alongside me is Three-Headed Monsters assistant coach, CJ Ashford. CJ, appreciate you coming back on. How's everything going for you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Everything's good. I'm glad the combine is over with. We got what we wanted out the combine. It was a lot of talent in the combine, but we kind of knew what we wanted to get, and we got it. So I'm looking forward to the season. Can't wait. Can't wait to see what our new team looks like and get back to making the playoffs.
Yeah, let me ask you about the combine. Obviously, this is a really important one for you because since you've been a part of this team, you guys have never missed the playoffs. Obviously, a ton of injuries, some roster turnover that occurred throughout the season last year. But let me ask you about the combine. Do you feel like it's gotten more competitive, and even more so, did you feel like it was the most competitive this year as you've been a part of the league?
Yes, I have. I feel like it was more competitive than the previous combines. For the simple fact that guys really they seen last year that we really are picking up guys that are like, off the street, say it like YouTubers and stuff like that they really have a chance to make a big three roster. We had Hezzy God come on board last year, end up winning like MVP, I believe it was, or just not the, or just the, we had Brandon Moss come on. We had guys like Arthur Lebenovich that came on. So these are not NBA names, but these are guys that put their name to the combine last year, and they end up getting called up on the team. So I think when the guys seen that, they really, thought they had a chance to come on board, and so it was very competitive.
No doubt. I feel like it's lost in translation a little bit too about a lot of guys don't want to show up to the combine. Like, I know everyone can't make it on a certain day, especially if you're letting our people, the league's letting you know a little bit later, like this is when the combine and draft's going to be, but plenty of time. And I feel like it's lost in translation how important it is to show face, whether it's like in years past combine or the combine, you're attending the combine for the first time. And we saw a lot of that this year where guys get an opportunity who attended the combine and have attended the combine for a long time, getting their first shot in the big three. We saw Roscoe Smith go top 5, who apparently has been a part of the combine for many years. We saw Will Felder go late, and Dante Green was actually saying on our live show that this was Oak's pick. He really liked what he saw with him at the combine. So I think it's really important for guys to show up in the combine, and hopefully, whether you have a name, you've played in the NBA, you're a 5-star recruit, whatever, hopefully guys will still, continue to attend the combine. But let's get to the draft, because I know you were giddy when you saw that you guys got the number one pick. This was y'all's first ever number one pick, and had to feel good because I know you had a game plan going in. But how did you feel like the draft went for your team? You guys drafted Brandon Moss with the number one overall pick, and then you guys got Shakur Juiston in the second round, who's playing overseas, and he's really lighting it up over there.
Right. So the thing with that was, like I told you in the past, show that we did, Rashard got with me maybe like a month or two before the combine, and he just wanted me to look at and scout some players and just have like a game plan going in, whether we got the number one pick or the second pick or the third pick. He wanted us to have options. And so going into that combine on Friday morning, I had a paper with options just in case we didn't get this, just in case we didn't get that, how we, according to the makeup of our team that we had already, because, we have the Teague brothers with Jeff and Marcus Teague. So we pretty much got the guard part situated, and then we had Greg Monroe, which is our big fella. So we had that situated, but I felt like we needed some wing players, some guys like 6'6" to 6'8" that can play the wing, play the perimeter, athletic, and can also, dribble the basketball too, handle the rock. And so we had options, man. And we went back into that room to do the draft and select the ping pong balls. And Rashard looked at me and said, "Hey, why don't you go up there and pick?" And I was like, and then he looked at Greg up there, man. He's new. Let's send him up there, and maybe he'll give us some good luck. And we were the second team to go up. And Greg put his hand in there, came out with the number 1 pick. So when he came out
Oh
with the number
man.
1 pick, you know, if I would have had an iPhone watch on that day, my heart rate probably would have just been, what I'm saying, because we was that excited about it. So we knew going out that door, going onto the court, what we were doing. We knew Brandon Moss was an option. He was our only option with the number 1 pick, because we felt like when he came in last year, I believe he came in 4 games and played with us. I mean, he was spectacular. He did everything. He was our offense, he was our defense, he was our highlights. We just didn't have a point guard, I felt like, to go along with him to set him up. We didn't have a big to where he didn't have to worry about if your man beat you off the dribble, he had to go recover for you and block shots. Now we got Greg Monroe right there that can block shots, that can alter some things for us and stuff like that. And then with Shakur was a player that I had looked into maybe about a month ago, man. And I had him, like I said, I had his name on my list. And I just looked at everything, his YouTube. I looked at, where he was from, his background as far as basketball. And I seen he was sort of like a Brandon Moss, but just a little stronger. Athletic, 6'7", 6'8" guy, can play the perimeter, can dribble, can shoot the rock, aggressive on defense and stuff like that. And I felt like that's what we needed.
Man, well, look at Greg already making an impact for the three-headed monsters, just like that, picking the number 1 pick for you guys and getting your man there. And man, yes. I feel like there's going to be some posters this summer between Moss, and then been looking up some guys that I wasn't familiar with, including Shakur, and Shakur can definitely put someone under the rim too. Like he's pretty nasty as well. So I feel like you have a good complement of a team. How important was it though to not only with Brandon having experience in the league and what he can do on the basketball court, but also just having someone that has Big 3 experience, like being a part of who you were trying to bring on board? Because you do have, a plethora of NBA talent, but guys who haven't played in the Big 3 yet.
Right. So it was very important. That's one of the things Rashard talked to me about. He gave me that assignment he wants me to get the guys up to speed on the rules and just the speed of the game and how it works. And so that's one of the things that I was kind of nervous about going into the draft, because I knew our whole team was going to be brand new, except for Moss. And so I think that's one of my assignments that I'm going to do in our first practice is I'm going to get everybody caught up on the speed and the rules and how quickly things can change, as far as, we don't have time to argue with the referees and stuff like that, because as soon as that ball is cleared on the 3-point line, a 3 can be taken or the ball can be passed back in for an easy layup. So we're gonna get them guys caught up to speed. I'm pretty sure it's going to be easy. Like I said, we got Jeff Teague running the team, so I'm excited for that, because I still think he could probably play in the NBA right now.
Facts.
if he wanted to. So I'm gonna have a guy like that running our team and running the show, and being able to tell these guys what he sees on the court is going to be big for us.
Yeah, for sure. How is Greg feeling? I know Jeff and Marcus weren't there, but how's Greg feeling about the Big 3 and just his first time entering the league?
He's feeling. He can't wait to get started. He actually, told me that, man, we're working out in Atlanta. He wants to come on in and work out with us before the season starts. So he can't wait. He's he just wants to show everybody what he can do on the court, and I feel like it's going to be a lot. He's going to do a lot on that court. Like I said, we're all excited. We're all ready to get back to the playoffs. Like that was a bad feeling that me and Rashard had not making the playoffs. That having to watch the rest of the season on television. And sometimes I couldn't even watch it, because I knew we were always there. So
yeah.
I feel like we have the team to cause matchup problems on offense and defense. And I feel like with Rashard coaching us and stuff like that, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll be right back.
Well, we've seen how it's worked out for Steven Jackson Trilogy, like a player coming from playing a season before in the Big 3 to coaching. I feel like that translates obviously very well and helps guys, like you said, get up to speed. Can probably practice with them a little bit as well when you guys have the practice the day before the game, so that's huge. And I feel like Greg is like, if you're thinking about players that would fit the Big 3 best, I feel like Greg is definitely under that category in terms of his skill set. So I'm excited for this team. I'm interested to see how the guys that have had a lot of success in the NBA translate to this league. We've seen it not always work out, but like you said, like guys like Jeff and Marcus and Greg probably could all be in the NBA or play in the NBA still today. So I'm excited to see how that looks. As far as the rest of the league, how do you feel like the overall competitiveness looks after the draft and all the teams are solidified?
it's gonna be hard to make the playoffs this year. Um, as you know, the Big Three only 4 teams make the playoffs. So I think everybody's gonna be scrapping every week, starting at week 1. I mean, you gotta come out the gate at least 2-1 or 3-0 to give yourself a chance. And with the makeup of the rest of the teams, even I was looking at the rosters the other day, on a plane getting back home to Atlanta, I was like, wow, this is gonna be tough. So I think whatever 4 teams take advantage of the rules the most, that's the 4 teams that's gonna make the playoffs. And when I say take advantage of the rules, as you know, the Big Three, we have like the foul limit and stuff like that. And we have the fireball situations and stuff like that. So whatever coach utilizes them rules the most, I believe is going to come out on top and be one of the top 4 teams to make the playoffs. Because this is, when you're looking at everybody's roster is like almost even. It's just like now it's going to be a matter of coaching to me. And that's what it's going to come down to.
I was trying to make a power rankings for all these teams. I couldn't do it.
And it's hard.
I couldn't do it. I can't.
It's going to be hard.
I can't put anybody last. I can't. I mean,
right.
I think the team I think of first is someone like Aliens, just because they had a down year and they've made a lot of changes. But even the changes they've made, I mean, they're adding a 4-time All-Star. They're adding a Big 3 champion. I don't know if like the brothers, it's pretty much the Millsaps over there, but like, is that a good thing with how much chemistry they'll have out the gates, So, and then you add Dusan, who's a former captain, a top 3 pick in the past. So even just thinking about like trying to make a power rankings for all these teams, it's hard. It feels disrespectful to put any of those teams in like the bottom 8, because they could very well be in the top 8. Like there's going to be a ton of parity.
No, you're right about that. I mean, even with the returning champions and enemies, right? A lot of guys don't understand. They just went and got Chris Allen.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, how did that happen? And I talked to Chris at the combine. I was like, man, come on, Chris, y'all are cheating. How is this happening? Like, y'all just I think they got better.
Yeah. Well, they played with 4 pretty much all year last year. You had another scorer.
Right. And then, you got ball hogs getting Larry Sanders. I think that's all they were missing, was somebody that can defensive wise cause havoc and stuff like that. Where they got the scoring with Jody Meeks, they got Barbosa, they got DeJuan Summers, who's a big fella, but he can shoot the rock.
Mm-hmm.
So they got everything. You got teams like Tri-State. Tri-State they have Kevin Murphy, which I hated that. I hated that, but hey, at least he's still in the league. At least he's still in the Big Three, so that's a good thing. And you pair him with Jason Richardson.
That's a scary.
Wow, how do you stop? Right, how do you stop that? Then you always have Trilogy. They're always going to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Risco coming back, and Earl Clark, he's still playing overseas, and then they got Flight, who's like he's like the head of the team. He controls the team and the tempo and keeps everybody composed. So you got that, and then you have teams like Killer Threes, who they're right there almost every year, but it's something that's keeping them there. So I think this may be the final year that they get to go deep into the playoffs.
Right.
Then of course you still got Ghost Ballers and Iceman, and they got their nucleus, they got their core together still, and picking up Darnell Jackson again, and they got Mike Taylor and Chris Johnson and Jonathan Simmons. So that team is good. So like you said, it's going to be I think it's going to be a competitive season. I think everybody's going to be locked in every week. And then of course, Joe Johnson's back, so it's like that team is going to be right there. And then Reggie Evans moving over to Three's Company with Michael Beasley and Mario Chalmers. It's like that's going to be a physical game. So, like I said, going into the draft, I knew what the circumstances were with the other teams and what their captains and co-captains were looking like. So I knew that we had to do something to keep pace with everybody else, and I think we did. So
it's crazy. You name all those teams, and I'm trying to rank them in my head. You can't. And like 2 teams that I actually think won the draft and could be scary depending on how things go. Power, who got Deshaun Stevens, who got this guy Marcus Foster, who I've been watching a lot of highlights on. He looks like he's good. And then Bivouac, who I feel like they got 2 bigs. I feel like for them, a lot of what they did last year was trying to go ISO ball, and it was tough to maintain that over the course of the year. But now you have a couple bigs to play pick and roll, pick and pop with, and Jalen Johnson's a really good passer on their as a big. So, I mean, you went through a list of those teams, and then I talk about the two teams that I think potentially won the draft or had good drafts, and think like, man, who's gonna be able to slide into that top four? Someone's gonna get slided, and
Right.
it's not gonna be pretty. But the good thing is we're gonna have a ton of good games. I will say with triplets is always competitive, right? They'll always be competitive with Joe and Jeremy Pargo being another, tough bucket getter.
Right.
Their draft confuses me a little bit, right? Because you drop Larry Sanders, you drop Jamario Moon back into the draft pool. My thought is they probably got their eye on somebody, and then they pull out their lottery, the lottery picks, and realize that they're a little bit later in the draft pool on both the rounds, and end up bringing Jamario back and bringing Jeff Ayers instead of Larry Sanders. So I wonder, how much did triplets really improve necessarily? I don't want to say they're the loser of the draft, but I wonder how much they really improved. I wonder the reasoning for dropping Jamario in the first place, unless they had their eyes on somebody else and he got taken. So even that said, though, like with Joe, you always have a chance, right? So should be interesting.
I actually like the Jamario Moon pick by them. I actually had him on our list. He just loves the game of basketball.
Right.
He loves it. He's in shape every year. He's actually a good role player on the team. He doesn't, he comes every practice, never have any problems with him at all. Doesn't complain, always smiling. He's just, it's a great locker room guy, a great guy to keep in your team. So I had him on our list of options for us, how the balls went for us and stuff like that. Char was okay with that. He's like, yeah, that's a good option, CJ. Let's keep that. And like I said, we just happened to get the number one pick, and then in the second round we got the fifth pick, so everything kind of fell our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes that's how the balls bounce.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it's I don't want to get twisted either. Like with Jamario, I feel like he helped this team win a championship. He has every right to be on this triplets team. He helped them get back to a title game, so he has every right to be on this triplets team. It's more so like, what was the logic behind dropping him back in the draft? That they have a certain team they were hoping to build in that process, and maybe things didn't go the way they wanted to, and they were just like, might as well bring our guy back who's helped us get to the title game twice. I'm just curious about that. I think decision making more, and just dropping Larry Sanders. I feel like him being back in the draft pool, if you guys didn't already know what Moss could do, there's probably a good chance you guys would have went Larry Sanders.
Right. And we had Larry Sanders for a year on our team.
Right.
And like I said, it was a matter of just the balls and how they fell to us, and us getting the number one pick. And like I said, we couldn't pass up bringing Brandon Moss back on the squad with us. And the most important thing about that is we really have a point guard now who can give him that lob or that pick and roll action with and stuff like that. We got a big to go along with him that can set a screen and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm excited about it. Can't wait to our first practice. And going back to what you said about Rashard, getting on the court and practice, that's one of the things we talked about like a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, he's in shape. He's still in shape. He can still play in this league. And I was like, Rashard, sometimes at practice, either one of us will have to bring our stuff and be the sixth man. And during practice, 3-on-3, and with the BIG3 rules, with the 14-second shot clock and the ball hitting the rim and not hitting the rim, certain situations, getting the team prepared. And he said, yeah, he's going to do that. So that's one of the things we've talked about already.
Man, that's what's up. And this is a worst case scenario kind of thing, but in the event maybe something did happen or someone had to miss a week, right? Does Rashard think about throwing his name back in there? I don't know if he actually would. I feel like maybe he's done. But hey, it's just a nice, option to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, I think he will. Like I said, he's still in shape. He works out every damn day, so it's like he can still game. I think for him, it was one of the things where his mind was telling him that, hey, I can still play, but his body was like, you know what, I need a break. I need a break. Get a break.
Well, I know much. Yeah.
I'm excited to have him as a head coach. I think because he pays attention to a lot of stuff that's going on, details and stuff like that on the court. So
yeah. Well, I know how much he cares about this league and this game, and especially I know how bad he wants to win a championship. You guys want to win a championship. You guys have the longest tenured, remaining with three-headed monster. So I know how bad you want this, and I'm sure it wasn't easy for him to just say, hey, I got to take a step back, maybe move more into that coaching role full time rather than just a player and a little bit of coaching here. So, but that being said, I'm glad he's still with the team and wishing you guys the best of luck this summer. Maybe this is the year of the Monsters.
Man, I hope so. It's been a long time coming. I hope so. I hope so.
Season opener is June 15th in Oakland, California. Don't have the matchups just yet, but like we've been talking about this entire time, it doesn't really matter who's going to be matched up. You're probably going to get a good game within it. So looking forward to the season opener. CJ, thanks for breaking down the draft with me. And we're going to get to our interview with Brandon Moss.
All right. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, man.
Always. Today on the show, we have the most recent BIG3 #1 pick in this year's draft, Brandon Bodybag Moss. He was a part of 3-headed Monsters last year. Brandon, again, appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
And welcome to the show.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
I definitely want to talk about your journey to the BIG3. But before I get into that, like, how are you feeling? I mean, you just went #1. I feel like it's been for you, just a documented long road to get here. How are you feeling after going #1 and just being a part of the BIG3 again?
Well, going #1 is always good. So I was happy once he told me. Just being in the BIG3 has been a great experience. So now I get to play a whole season. It's really gonna show what's going on, and I'm just looking forward for the whole season to get the championship, to be honest.
Yes, sir. Y'all definitely have the squad to do so. And honestly, like, based on the 4 games you played last year, probably could have been an all-star, just to be real, like, especially if you got a couple more, like at least one more game. But this year you have the chance to maybe do so, in my opinion, if you can put up kind of a similar season for the full year. But want to take it back to kind of, like I said, the journey to get to the BIG3. I'm just kind of looking at some interviews you've done in the past and kind of your background. Played in JUCO, played NAIA. I got a lot of boys from back in the day that went NAIA, went in JUCO for different sports, and they couldn't even last like a semester before, feeling like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. Not always, but sometimes guys are like, this isn't for me. I'd rather be back at home, whatever the case may be. You took it a step further. You obviously went pro. You also saw that you won a dunk contest after winning an NAIA championship. And I saw in an interview you said you did your famous dunk over. Can you just explain, first off, the transition from winning a chip to going into another contest to prove yourself? And then what is the famous dunk over? What makes it famous?
Well, winning a chip is what I go by. I tell everybody it's win or die. You feel me? So that's how I really come at every game, every moment. And JUCO, it was nice. I really basketball was just my calling, if you want me to be honest. So after JUCO, I went NAIA. As you know, we got the championship there. And after NAIA, I thought it was going to be kind of a challenge, to keep playing. Because I came from NAIA and I know Division I, and you know how the name thing go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, my mama always told me, my uncle always told me, just keep going, keep grinding towards your dream. It will come true, you know what I'm saying? Because hard work, it always pays off. If it was easy, anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So that's how I looked at it. And so after NAIA, I went pro. I played a few games, came back home, and then just out of the blue, went out to Cali, got with the Ballers Life squad, and then Nitty, him and Corey McGinnis kind of like helped me out. We was at a practice. Nitty had told me to come to this practice. I usually don't go to practice because it just be like 8 of us. But nah, he was like, we're going to practice against Corey McGinnis' team. And so I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? That kind of like made me like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to hoop it. Because I be trying to find runs to where like pros and stuff hoop. But most of the time, it just be regular runs. And so he was like, yeah, man, pull up, man. We're going to play against his team, blase, blase. We played, I think, a week after. it was just a week after. They called me. They said, you ever heard of the Big 3? See, with me, they always got to ask me because all I do is play 2K. So they really gotta ask me like, bro, have you ever like watched Big 3 or anything? I be like, I said, nah, what that is? And then they explained it, told me how it goes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be in something like that. And so he was like, yeah, I got a team for you. I was like, bro, stop playing. So he was like, yeah, he was like, call, Nitty was like, call Corey. And so I had called Corey again, and then once I called him, he said, yeah, you remember at practice, I told you that I had it? Well, this your moment. And so I was like, oh, so this for real. And so he had told me that he linked me up with the 3-headed monsters. I met CJ.
Mm-hmm.
CJ always kept me on my toes, kept me going, kept me knowing everything that I needed to know. And once I got on that train, the experience just was crazy though, to be honest. Like the atmosphere, like the people. I never thought 3-on-3 would be that big.
Right.
Ice Cube, one of my favorite old rappers. You feel me? Like it's just a lot just going on in that moment. And now, come this season, on first round pick, so it's like, wow. It's crazy. I was just coming back from Taiwan. I had just won a championship. And now, now I'm coming back out here trying to get in this Big 3. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody ever came their second year and just won a championship. You feel me?
Hey.
Right. And I ain't even have a complete season the first time.
Right. Yeah, you had to win a chip in Taiwan. It's a win or die. So you would have been stuck in Taiwan if you didn't win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would have still been out there. I can't come to the house.
Also, too, I don't know if you see behind me, but I got Corey Maggetti's jersey from his Power days, his MVP days, just a replica of it. But I feel like for some reason I hear Corey's name a lot, even after he's retired from the Big 3. Is he like one of the low key, like maybe not known underground goats of just, I don't know, getting guys to the Big 3, or just like, I don't know, like an underground goat, just like doesn't talk a lot, doesn't like give himself a ton of exposure about what he's doing, but he's always like in the background doing some things.
Yeah, he cool people. I never would have met him if it went for Nitty. So
okay,
once I did meet him and we got to talking, and he called me on the phone telling me about certain situations about playing pro, and then we just kept talking, and then he come back and tell me about the Big 3, and then he cool people. He low key is the GOAT though. the silent GOAT. The silent GOAT. Yeah, he good people. And I did I tell him thank you every time I like see him or something. Send him a 10 minutes prior.
That's what's up. He's probably on my Big 3 Mount Rushmore, at least for now, of like best players that have come through this league. So that's what's up. That's cool to hear that he's still helping people get like professional opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I saw too where you used to play football, and you were a pretty good football player back in your high school days, but you decided to go the basketball route. What was kind of the moment that made you say, basketball instead of football? And do you ever have any like, man, what if I stuck with this football thing?
To be honest, I love football more than basketball when I was in high school.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so when it was, I actually was pretty good, I'm going to just put that out there. 21 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards,
Damn. Okay.
Come on, man. That's 1 year. Hey, I was pretty nice.
You say 21 touchdowns?
Yeah, 21. Yeah. They was mistaking me for Randy Moss's little nephew at some point. Nah, but I like what stopped me with football is I was one of them crazy types. So I played wide receiver, but I also played like cornerback and safety.
Mm-hmm.
And like on defense, I used to try to you know what I'm saying, really. They had a helmet contact when I was you know what I'm saying? So I had like 3 concussions, so I knew it was for me.
Dang. You got CTE in one season.
Man, yeah, it wasn't for me. One season, I had 3 concussions. I said, yeah, this sport probably ain't for me.
Dang. That's
Yeah,
a
I might
wild season, though. Like, put that on a resume. 1,000-yard receiver, 21 touchdowns, 3 concussions. Call it a career.
Yeah, I retired after that, man. It was like, nah.
No,
Because
that's
I don't think I knew how to tackle. That was my coach told me.
mm-hmm.
He said, you like to hit. You don't know how to tackle. So I guess that was my problem was.
That's the thing about football too, though. It's like they always teach you how to tackle, but like when you're actually in a game setting and you see someone with the ball in front of you, you never really think about, oh, this is what the coach was telling me: keep my head up, break down. You're just kind of like get them down, whatever, like however you can. It doesn't matter at this point.
However it take, baby. However it take. Get them on the ground.
Right. No, that's
And
cool.
then what also kind of lured me over to basketball, I went from 5'10" to 6'1", then 6'1" to 6'4". So that was all in one year. So like once I got tall, basketball got a little easier. So
yeah,
that kind of
grew out of those pants quick. I'm sure. Your mom was buying a ton of clothes for you at that point.
Had to get a new whole wardrobe, man.
Yeah, for sure. So you played pro a little bit, but I also saw too that you had an opportunity with the South Bay Lakers at one point with the G League.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to hear your experience and just playing in that. And then you ever had thoughts about pursuing that route again with it kind of being another league that's growing, exponentially year over year?
Well, when I was with South Bay, I played but didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might have played with probably 15 minutes,
mm-hmm.
but I did kind of average like 8, 6, and 3. You know what I'm saying? I had a good little average for the time that I did play, and with that, I kind of like I'm one of them guys that like to play, so I wouldn't get no playing time, and then plus once I got an offer overseas, and it was more money than what I was getting in, it kind of like it was like might as well just go in and get paid more. So it was like that what made that choice go by. But with South Bay, I had fun.
Yeah,
I had fun. Well, I did a little bit with the crew, and it lasted maybe 3 months, and then I was out of there.
Yeah,
I was out of there.
That bag came crawling. I feel
that.
Yeah, I remember. Sure. I remember too. Like, I'm kind of like speeding up your journey a little bit, but just kind of coming from where you came from, and just in terms of like the route you took, NAIA, JUCO, G League, playing overseas. Then you played in the BIG3 last year. I'm kind of taking it back to the first game you played in. You guys were playing against Trilogy. It was like week 4. It was also like Hezi God's second game, so I think people were curious to see what he was doing. And then I remember you entered the game, and I was like, I'll be honest, I wasn't familiar with your game. I was like, who's number 8? Why do they call him Body Bag and stuff? I got to know who was the first person to give you the nickname Body Bag, and like what was the moment they're like, oh yeah, that's what he does.
Okay. Shout out Big man. Voice of Venice Beach.
Okay.
Mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? He hit me with the name. I was in a game, my first game back from where I was, Argentina. My first game back from Argentina. I came out to California because my girl lived out there. She made me go out there. She was like, you need more opportunities because you good. And we ain't gonna just be having you in one spot when you need to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to her too, So she made me go to California, and I went out to Venice Beach. I really tried to get with Venice Beach 2015, something like that. 2016, I tried to get with them, but they kind of like overlooked me, you feel me? So I was I went back out there. I said, look, I tried to play with y'all last time, so I'm gonna try to play again. So I went out there. I played in a little pickup game. I got drafted first in that one too.
Hey.
But but then I played my first game. I think half my team was gone, so they was like, "Who gonna run point?" I said, "Bro, I can run point." They was like, "Bro, you see 8. What you mean you gonna run point?" I'm like, "Bro, trust me, I got you." So they let me run point. We was going crazy, and then it was this possession. It happened in 1 minute. The first 30 seconds, I did first 30 seconds, my teammate shot it, put back on somebody's head, bang. So he had to go sit down. You know, they make him sit down for like 2 minutes in Venice. He had to go sit down and just watch the game from a little bit of baby chair. So then we come back down. I get a block, bring it back down. I'm going down coast to coast. My man played up on me. I hit him with the cross. It was another dude sitting up under the basket. This the next 30 seconds. This just coming back down. He was sitting up under the basket. And I guess, I don't know what he was thinking, but he jumped too. Dunked him.
On his head.
In 1 minute I had got 2 bodies, and he was like, "Oh, I got your name." Body bag. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's nice."
Nah, that's hard actually.
I like that one. Yeah, so yeah. Voice of Venice Beach, man. Shout out, we did it.
That's dope, actually. That's crazy that you went from. It's crazier that you went from they didn't want you to we got a name for you in the first minute of you playing. You know, kind of in this league, proving yourself. That's pretty wild. And I feel like our first intro to you, for those of us, you know, that weren't familiar with your game in the Big Three, first thing you do is help off someone getting back down. I forgot who was getting back down, but I remember it was Earl Clark getting back down, block his shot into the stands. I was like, oh shit, okay, this guy's got some crazy bounce. You know, maybe he's more of a defensive player. Next play, you guys are back on offense. You're coming back door on the oop. I was like, oh, okay, this dude's nice. I was like, this dude's got it figured out already. So that was a pretty cool intro. But the cool thing about that game, I feel like, was you guys were, like I said, playing Trilogy. I think people were interested to see what Hezi God did. Obviously, you guys are pretty familiar with each other from playing at Venice Ball, playing in Ball is Life, whatever the case may be. And to an extent, y'all kind of had like a huge showcase. I mean, like both of you guys put on a show for that game. It was a close game, and I felt like both y'all kept your team in play. It's more so, you know, I want to ask, like, what I feel like, and more of the guys that I guess some people would consider influencer basketball players are really like kind of taking this league by storm. You two, then Nasir Kaur goes 10th overall to Three's Company. I feel like, what does that say more about influencer basketball, like to the average person, with you guys just like being able to compete at a high level and play in the Big Three? Like, what gets kind of lost in translation in the fact that despite you guys doing park takeovers or playing in leagues maybe they're not familiar with, about you guys like kind of as a basketball players?
My thing is, people don't understand. They say influencers, but they say people that get paid for playing basketball is pros. But you think about it, it don't matter what we playing or what we doing, we get paid to play basketball. So if you can, they can look at it as YouTubers, but I look at all of us as pros. If you just being honest with yourself, because Nitty, pro, Noskin, pro, Marcus, pro, Duke, pro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can hoop on the pro stage. So I really don't. I don't really go with the comments and I don't really go with the social media. So when people be saying that, I just be like, look, how about you bring your 5 and we got our 5. So if you really want to see that we professional, you bring your 5, you bring my 5, and you put your money up and we're going to put our money up. And we can solve it like that. I ain't never finna argue with these people out here talking about some, like, why he that and why he that and he an influencer. Nah, bro. It's not easy just doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, if it was, like I said earlier, if it was easy, everybody would be on Ball's Life Squad.
Right.
Everybody want to be trying to be on Ball's Life Squad. Everybody want to be trying to do this and trying to do that. If it was easy, it's not that easy. Because they go on the internet and they do all that talking. But then if all us get our screenshots together in our DM, now it's a different story on who a pro and all that. Like, you begging up.
Yeah.
Don't be. And so, and that's why I just leave it how it is, because I know Nitty got a problem. A lot of people. Put me on, Ty. A lot of people. Help me out. You know what I'm saying? But we don't answer all that. Now you want to get on YouTube, get on the comments. You know what I'm saying? Get on the comments and try to say, them boys ain't real professional. They just street ballers. It be like that. You come out there playing if you want to.
Yeah, the switch up is crazy too. And all those people that are like trying to be on the come up and be on a Ball's Life squad or be kind of a YouTuber for playing basketball. The crazy part is like maybe you've played against some of these guys. Now they feel like entitled to almost having a spot. Oh, I can play in the Big Three if they can, kind of thing. Or, oh, I could play with that Ball's Life team and just be just as good as them, or play against them and be just as good. That's the crazy part, to see like almost a sense of entitlement. But again, there's only a select few people that are getting picked up in the Big Three. There's only a select few people that's part of this Ball's Life family traveling and getting paid to do so, whatever. So, and I feel like the biggest testament to that is, you know, Frank being a captain, you going number 1 overall. Has he putting up the most points in a Big Three game ever, right? In a single game. So I feel like that's the biggest testament, is like, you know, you guys can come out and try out to the combine and do your thing, but like until you're out here, you'll never know. And they picked us because they saw what we could do, and we've proved it at this point.
Right, and they think, and they really, you can get what? You can get a 50% to Ball's Life because it's just it's a platform.
For
it's
sure.
Our company.
Right.
But the other 50 is us.
That.
You know what I'm saying? They might put our clothes on. They might give us this and make events. But we got to go out there and perform.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go out there and make them look good for it to keep going. You feel me? So for the people that's saying all that and doing all that, they just want to be where we at. And I just be like,
right.
I just stay chill and I stay humble, because every time they act like that, we just show them different. Now it's 3 of us in there. It's three of us in the Big Three now.
Mm-hmm.
All first round. One of them ain't even had to get picked because he's a captain.
You're right.
So you feel me? So it is what it is. They can say what they want, but we showing what, you know what I'm saying? We showing everything that we. It's just like that.
Yeah, and two, I feel like all these people that say these things have every opportunity when they go out to these runs, right? Like they get an opportunity to put on if they can. It's just, I'll just end up taking over. Like, you know, kind of the goal. You guys end up, you know, accomplishing that goal. So I feel like people have these opportunities. It's like a self-awareness thing.
Mm-hmm. It's not like that in person. I don't care what they can say. What they want to say. It's not like that in person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they thinking, because like the same Ball's Life squad just won the biggest pro-am.
Mm-hmm.
The truth. We went and won that. Like, I don't know what they want us to. They need to sign us up under the NBA. What else we need to win?
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
What else we need to win for y'all to chill?
Right.
But you know, we just gonna keep hooping. That's what we do. We just keep hooping. When people talk, you know what I'm saying, we prevail. We just keep hooping.
Facts. Now you have a full season in the Big Three, as we mentioned. Mm-hmm. You have definitely a different squad than last year. Last year you were playing with your now coach, Rashard Lewis. You had Reggie Evans. You had a few different guys coming in and out. It was just never, I felt like they could never get that chemistry going because of, you know, the amount of changes that were happening throughout the year. But now you have the Teague brothers. You got Greg Monroe. You guys also had a Shakur Juiston, who is another high flyer. What do you think about this team in terms of how you fit alongside them and just the chance of you guys making the playoffs and ultimately winning it all?
I feel good about my team because, like I always tell people, I can be your superstar role player, or I can be your superstar. So either way it go, I'm gonna do what my team need me to do, and I know T. I don't know his brother like that, but I know Jeff like that. So I know he like that. And I know Greg Monroe is a big guy. And I seen him hoop also. And to have another high fly, you know what I'm saying? Us high flying brothers got to stick together. So I just know, man, him gonna have a chemistry just because we both stay above that rim. We can communicate. But yeah, I feel like it'll be a better team because like we young. You know what I'm saying? We young, we gonna be faster, better recover, you know what I'm saying? Put up more shots. Because we ain't take that many shots last season. Put up more shots and you know what I'm saying? We gonna be straight. We gonna be good though.
Yeah. What do you think about the oh sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I can feel it. I
was gonna say, kind of going off the rest of the draft, I don't know if you've had, I know you've had some things going on just within your personal life, but have you had a chance to look at the teams? And if so, like, what do you kind of think about the competition this year in comparison to last year when you were playing?
It got way more crazy, to be honest. I'm thinking we about to come out here with another little normal little season. I see people that just left the league. I'm like, okay, we finna get active. This league, I ain't gonna lie, it's finna be crazy. It's finna be crazy. I can see us coming out on top because it's gonna be two reasons why we gonna come out on top. Because one reason is because it's win or die. Duh, you know. So we gonna get that chemistry going. And then second reason is I don't take it lightly on nobody but my niece. You feel me? So it don't matter who the team is. I'm gonna give it 110%. And I know the team gonna rock with that because who don't like a hustle man? Come on. Everybody like a hustle man. And that's all I do. Hustle, play defense, get that back door line. I hit a couple of threes every now and then, but yeah. I think we're gonna get it. Yeah, especially with I can feel it.
And talk to me about just like with all the competition, all as good as the teams are. I know you talked about it a little bit, but just like more about like what was the feeling, kind of hearing your name being called and being the first overall pick.
To be honest, it really gave me that shock, like ooh, because like I was like, okay, that's my team. Like hoping that they pick me again, but it was like, oh man, first round pick, and then I had my mama here, so she just made it way more special than what it was. So I was like, okay, then ma, you see your boy coming first on the TV, you feel me? So it really made me happy because like my whole family be watching, so they kind of like seen it at the same time. So that was a lot of like phone calls, like it was really like I was really going to the NBA draft how they was acting, you feel me? So I was like, yeah, it really because it brought like a lot of energy. It made me very excited to be playing. And then I went and worked out. As soon as I heard I had to go get in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
And he started being right.
I feel like, too, like, I mean, you've talked about it. You're just going to kind of bring it regardless of who it is. But, for some, that could be a lot of pressure just knowing that you guys have added, two guys that made a name for themselves and had long careers in the NBA, being the number one overall pick. Three-headed Monsters team that has been super close, has only missed the playoffs once since they came into the league. But it sounds like for you ain't ducking smoke or anything. Like you feel like this team is set up to win, and you feel like it could happen just as soon as this year.
Oh yeah, there's one thing about me, I ain't ducking nothing. You feel me? I ain't ducking nothing. Never nervous. Oh, I just put my trust and faith in God, and I just go out there and play ball.
Mm-hmm.
So never ducking smoke. I want all the smoke. I hope my team want all the smoke because they don't. I put the target on your back. You know what I'm saying? Just be ready. Just be ready for war. You feel me? So we ain't ducking no smoke this way.
No doubt. I want to ask you 3 kind of like quick hitting questions. And I'll wrap it up with something else, but just feel free to answer this with one word or first thing that comes to mind, first name that comes to mind, based off kind of your play last season, this season. But first off, hardest to guard in the big 3.
Hold on, say it again.
Hardest to guard in the big 3.
Hardest to guard, big 3. Everybody pretty solid. I ain't never get a chance to check Mike. I know Mike Beasley gonna be a tough guy. But the ones that I did get to check, I say I forgot the team name was the purple team. He was number 33. I believe he was number 33, 23, something like that.
For Ghost Ballers? Trying to think.
I think that's the purple team dude with the little spike. He used to have a little spike with the color.
Oh, Mike Taylor?
Yeah, but the shooting guard, the other one. I think he was number 33. I can't remember his name.
The purple team, number 33. I'm trying to think.
He was tough. Let me see. See, can I find it for you real quick?
Trying to think. They got Mike. They had Simmons. They had Chris Johnson. Oh, Simmons. Okay.
Simmons. Yeah. You said that name right on the head. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was pretty tough. Cause when I'm guarding somebody, most of the time I make them go to the hole.
Mm-hmm.
But he was able to do both. Go to the hole and stop and pop. So it was like, okay, now I gotta really sit down. Because I be trying to take away one option he was still making that sense. I was like, okay. Okay. So him and number 5 from Trilogy.
Oh, Earl. Yeah. Earl's nice.
Yeah, them two.
Okay.
Them two. So,
somebody you'd love to put in a body bag this season. We saw it a couple times last year.
To put somebody in the body bag, the zipper ain't got no name on it. So if I had to just pick anybody to put it in the zipper, it'd have to be Cap with Nitty. Yeah, Nitty. It had to be. I had to catch the slip and not boxing out before I could, text him every now and then and say, bro, I did dunk you. And then since Nas came off in here, and that's my dog, I want to catch him not boxing out either, so I can take both of them, hit him up every now and then, like, hey, I went back and watched that game that I zipped y'all up.
Nitty's put a couple dudes in a body bag. He's probably got 2 of the nastiest dunks in this league. So
I know, with that left hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's put a couple. He put what was his name? Jason Maxiel. He made that man fall to the ground. That's a big dude, like 6'10", like probably close to 300. He made that man fall to the ground. So, man, yeah, you would have bragging rights for sure if you did it back to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him. They ain't gonna be boxing out, but with Cap, with Nitty, I know he like to get the rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know he just like me. It win or die. So I know he be trying to get a certain type of rebound. I'm gonna kill him, Slippy.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
And then somebody who hasn't played in the league yet, who would you like to potentially see, whether it's randomly this year? I don't know if they can make that happen this year, but even next year as you kind of grow with the league.
Marcus Bell.
Okay, I think I saw his name in the draft pool.
Yeah, Marcus Bell for sure. Cause like how aggressive the league is.
Mm-hmm.
My boy fit right in, man.
Oh.
He fit right in. I promise you, that boy there.
All right.
Marcus.
For any,
I like to sure.
I was gonna say, for any captains or co-captains, coaches listening, might be a name to think about even throughout the year. He's in the draft pool. He could be picked up at any moment. So, heard it from the number 1 pick.
Sure.
Last thing I want to ask you, and then I'll let you go here, is, there's a lot of people that play in this league for various reasons, whether they're getting older, can't play up and down the court, whether they don't want to play overseas, want to spend more time with their families, whatever the case may be. But when I talk to a lot of dudes enjoy more. They enjoy the games, but they enjoy time, kind of spending time with their friends and like the brotherhood almost, like over the course of a weekend in different cities. What do you like about the Big Three off the court?
Off the court. Well, off the court really always be good, to be honest, because you always get to go to like food places you never been to. You always get to learn stuff about your teammate that you never knew, that you always wanted to know but never knew. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, off camera, everybody be themselves. So most people that you thought were gonna be a little stuck up, really funny. He really be funny. And then someone that you say that look mad all the time, really be just chill. They really don't just be doing that much talking, but yeah, out the build an experience for real. And I always get to eat at new restaurants, and I always just find something new to do, find something new about my teammates. Yeah, because I found out that Rashad and Reggie might be two of the funniest OGs I ever had.
Oh, for real? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, man. Man, when I tell you somebody that can talk some shit, two OG boy, they used to talk, man. Yeah.
That's funny. Are you big like a foodie? Like person likes to try different foods and stuff?
Yeah. We been there? Foodies?
No, I mean like are you foodie meaning like are you the type of person that likes to try a bunch of different foods, cuisines, stuff like that? I was only asking because you said you get to try a bunch of different foods in different places. I didn't know if you meant
different restaurants. I just go in there and see who burger better than that burger.
Okay.
I ain't going there to get nothing crazy. Nah, my girl probably going there and get something crazy, but with me, nah.
Okay.
I ain't gonna. I'm keeping it straight south. I need soul food and some grease.
I can only imagine how you were feeling in Taiwan then, because
man, ate so healthy, man. I was so glad to be back. First thing I ate was chicken.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty rare to find anything like
man.
Americanized over there, but
it's so chicken fried rice over there.
Oh yeah. Nah, it's funny. Well, Brandon, good luck on the season. I hope you can enjoy multiple different burgers on the road this summer, very different cities. Appreciate the time. Congrats again on going number one, and looking forward to how you fit in with the new look, three-headed monsters.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Let them know it's Big Body B, man. I don't want all the smoke. You feel me?
No doubt. Thanks again. Appreciate it.